Hi everybody, Vanquished Angel here, and today's topic is going to be kind of an interesting one for me. I was on the massage forums, and I was browsing around, and I saw this person that posted a video, and in the video it said, well, it was a friend of theirs that shared it, but it was this guy in the video, and he was talking about how people, at work are complaining, and really if their life is just that bad, they should do something to make it better and take it within, their own hands, and they have the power to do something about it, and why don't they? And I love this message. I completely agree with it. I'm one who took my life and I transformed it around more than anybody ever thought I probably would, given my situation. Not many people that were in my situation made it out. And so, And so I get it. You kind of just have to grab the bull by the horn sometimes and make changes in your life, and it's a very powerful message. However, this message also sometimes has a backside that isn't quite so good. And in American culture, this is something we do. We put the blame on the person. We sort of blame the victim. Not to get into that mentality too much, but we do blame the victim. And in this case, how does this work? Well, first off, I have a very good job. I met my employer while I was still in school. She's amazing to me. This is not about her. It doesn't have anything to do with her. But I can also attest to some of my past employers that this is very much the truth. And so where this message goes wrong is that sometimes there is valid reasons to be complaining about your boss. And you can say, or your company you work for, or the corporation, and you can say, hey, well, then they have the power to change it, find a different job. And you know what? That's 100% correct. But what that's also doing is playing the devil's advocate, and it's also allowing that boss, that corporation, to continue their bad or unethical practices. Basically, you're endorsing it. You're saying, hey, it's okay to do this, that we're just going to make excuses for you. Or somebody will agree to it, so just keep doing this bad thing that is really unethical or immoral, and we're just going to look the other way and not say anything about it. It's pretty much also what you're saying with that phrase. So, and you think that, oh, well, if enough people leave, well, it doesn't work that way. When people need jobs, they're going to take what they can get. We sort of have to have a standard that we hold employers, corporations too, on how to treat us as people, civilians, Americans, It's just living, breathing things. We need that standard. And so, like, to use an example, I'm a massage therapist, and now I'm kind of in a small town compared to other places anyway. Big for the area, but really small actually. And we had 3 massage schools in the area. We also have massage schools just outside of the area, maybe like an hour or so away, where we get a lot of their graduates here. And this kind of causes a little problem. Some of the massage schools have been around here for like 20 years, and which is good, for them, but they're putting out about 15 each, 15 students or more each in this little area. More, in a lot of cases, more. And so what we have here, and then we're getting students from the other ones, from the outer areas, we have a over concentration of massage therapists in this area. It's a very saturated market, and therefore finding jobs can be a little bit rough, especially if you don't fit the status quo. Like me, I'm a male, so I'm going to have a problem finding a job. But now, like I said, I was pretty lucky. And the issue with that here is having that oversaturated market is that people are competing for jobs. Now, competing businesses would be okay, but competing for jobs doesn't always work out in the favor of anybody. So what happens is either a massage therapist will go off on their own and they will way undercut everybody else, like charge $40 an hour for a massage or something. And I had to pay for a medical degree. Like, I have a degree in applied science and massage, and that cost quite a bit of money, basically $40 for that hour of massage. And then I have to eat costs to, like, sheets and table and oils, and I don't use the cheap stuff and all this, so you're really not making that much. $40 an hour, you're probably not making anything. But because we have medical insurance we have to keep and all this other stuff. But anyway, but the businesses, some of these businesses here have charged as little as $9 an hour to do a job that we have to maintain an education for. You know, like nurses, we have to go back to school. We have to learn these medical things. We have continuing education to go on. We had to go get medically certified, to do this. It's not like it was 50 years ago where you could just go to a weekend class and then learn a technique or two and go massage people. Now we have to learn diseases, what they look like, conditions, how to treat them. Like, we actually have to learn this stuff. And so $9 an hour is bupkis. But so many people graduate from these colleges or schools and they want to work in their field and they need experience in their field. So they take these jobs and like this employer is taking advantage of the oversaturated market and being really unethical, actually. And so you got people willing to do it, and these people willing to do it are essentially saying, hey, this is okay to do this. Okay, underpay me. Go ahead, Great, underpay all these other people. We're going to endorse this, and we're going to stand by and let this happen. And then when people complain about it, we're going to tell them they shouldn't complain, make their lives better. So that's the backside. And honestly, this new thing in our culture is not a productive way to really always look at things. I mean, in many ways it very much is, and I would agree with you. But in a lot of ways, it's more destructive than helpful. I mean, if you think about it, go back to the Depression here, when jobs were scarce, people had mouths to feed more than they do today, and they still had the courage, the integrity we don't have today, to stand up to their boss and say, no, we're not going to deal with this abuse. No, we're not going to put up with this. This is not going to happen. We're not going to allow this. And because of them, we have things today that we wouldn't have had without them. We have benefits, vacations, some of us, not all of us. Because we as an American culture have been slacking, a lot of places don't do this anymore. We don't stand up for this anymore, but we got benefits, weekends, health packages, whatever. And, we got the 40-hour work week and basically thanks to people not just standing there ignoring it or allowing it or letting it happen, thanks to these people that have stood up, we have this regulation, we have this standard that still needs to be improved upon, but we have it. And that's not thanks to those people that were like, oh, just don't complain. I mean, not to compare it to race or anything, but even back in the day when slavery was around, or not even slavery, but even the Jim Crow laws and stuff, black people standing up for it, they had to face other black people. Not just the racist white people that you see pictures of, but they had to face other black people at the time because it was, don't make waves, don't complain, you're going to make things worse, you're not really helping. Because in that instance, they weren't really helping. They had to deal with more stress and white people acting up. It's just things that the other black people didn't want to deal with at the time. But you know what? Thanks to them doing that, we have come a long way. That wasn't thanks to the quiet person saying, don't complain. And, it's a different subject. Race is a race subject, but the thought process is still there in this. So really that person that's complaining is doing more for whatever profession you're working in than you are. They're improving things for the future. I mean, maybe, it's inconvenient to listen to them, and maybe their complaints are a lot of times stupid, because a lot of them are. But saying just find another job is like saying, okay, well, I'm going to defend this boss doing this when they're underpaying you or have other unethical work practices, or in a lot of my cases, a past job stealing from me or other employees or whatever else. You're saying that's okay. So realize when you say something like that's the message you're really sending. And honestly, $9 an hour for a massage therapist, most are charging $70 an hour to get a massage. That means the corporation is making $61 an hour. Well, they usually deal with the costs and stuff, but they get a lot of that in bulk, like sheets and other things. But that massage therapist is getting only $9 an hour of that, they have to maintain continuing education. They have to live a life off that. They have to carry medical insurance. They have to, and a lot of times they have some other expenses as well, like they have to buy their own oils or things like that. And that's not right. So more power to the complainer there. Complain. Make a stink. Go out there. You change the world for the better. You do something about it. Because those people telling you to be quiet or go change it, they're not doing anything. They're basically just kind of being useless. Well, I don't mean go change it, but I mean go find another job or something. Because in those situations, like there's this one massage place that's basically, it's international or national. And they're basically the Walmart of massage. They kind of overly abuse their massage therapists. Their massage therapists don't last long. They work them too much, greatly underpay them. And people will say, oh, well, it's a wonderful place to get started. No, you're allowing them to continue. And they're lowering the massage standard for everybody. Because they just simply exist. And they're able to simply exist because people will keep working for them. You know? So it's just kind of food for thought on how we enable things. Or basically in America, how we actually kind of do blame the victim. In this case, the underpaid employee. And we do. We do that a lot. You know, back in the Depression era, they would have had the integrity to stand up for such things. Today, meh. We don't really have the integrity for much. That's unfortunately makes me very sad. All right. Have a good day.